Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to ODR Cyberweek 2023. We're the second session today. It's Monday, November the 6th, and this is being hosted by the National Center for Technology and Dispute Resolution. And I'm here to tell you today a little bit about Smartsettle One. It'll be a demonstration and just give you a little preview, show you how the tournament works, and invite you to participate in that tournament during this week. And we'll end up on Friday with a debrief. So just I'm here today. I'm had Graham Ross and Carissa on this as well, but they're going to let me do the presentation today. So, Smartsettle One, you know, before a couple of years ago, a few years ago, we never used to call this artificial intelligence, but now with the advent of generative AI and chat GPT and other forms of artificial intelligence, they're starting to call this work uh, artificial intelligence as well, but it's quite different than the other artificial intelligence that you know of. We have 9 algorithms that are implemented at a neutral site, and one of the main ones that encompasses some of the other algorithms is called visual blind bidding. So if you're familiar at all with um, uh, other forms of blind bidding, visual blind bidding is different because it's scalable. Today, I'm going to show you the simplest possible implementation for a single issue, 2 parties, and just for um, situations that can be reduced to a single monetary issue. But visual blind bidding that I'm going to show you is actually scalable to any number of issues and parties and very complex negotiations. It's intelligent, collaborative resolution. So, and at the end of this slide deck, I'm going to put in a plug for Smartsettle Infinity. We also have a much more comprehensive platform but this is sort of the entry point. So visual blind bidding, it's an algorithm that empowers negotiators. Our philosophy is to put the negotiators in control. And the technology is not supposed to get in the way. And even the humans that are part of the process shouldn't get in the way either. We want the people who this dispute revolves around to actually be in as much control as they can be. So we actually looked at dispute resolution and decision making in general as it goes online, not trying to duplicate the offline process and try to see how we could make that happen online, but rethink the whole thing and say, now that we've got an online environment, let's start from scratch and see how we can make this better. And so most of you are involved in dispute resolution, different types of negotiation, and I'm sure that the traditional resolution process, which is characterized by a tedious negotiation dance, is nothing new. That's what often happens. And here we're depicting negotiation between party A and party B. Party A says 10,000, party B wants 25,000, and they have all kinds of reasons why it should be this or that. And there's a tedious negotiation dance. After a long time, they might or might not get to a solution. And so Smartsettle is visual blind bidding. virtually eliminates that tedious negotiation dance and replaces it with an algorithm that we call visual blind bidding. Virtually eliminates that tedious negotiation dance. And in the process, parties that tended to be adversaries are converted to collaborators. So we say, here's a technology that converts adversaries into collaborators. And so I'm going to give you like a quick tour of a tournament. We've produced a game where you can come in and just get used to how Smartsettle One works and have fun negotiating with others. And it's hosted at the International E-Negotiation Exhibition. And here's that plug that I was going to tell you about. So Smartsettle One is just an introduction to our technology. And I hope that you also take a look at some of the videos about Smartsettle Infinity and how we're modeling the most complex negotiations on Earth. But today, let's just look at this introduction to Smartsettle One. So if you go back to the program and click on the link there, it's going to bring you to, let's see here. Here we go. So here's the program. And if you go back there and click on this link right here, no, not that one, this one, how to win first prize, it will take you to this blog item, South Africa Ombudsman at Cyberweek 2023. So read this whole page before you start, and it'll tell you what's going to happen during this week. And here is a famous case actually in South Africa, and you can read about that case. I'm not going to explain it all. There's an inventor who said he should get a certain amount of money, and the company said, well, no, we think you should get a smaller amount of money. And so there's a negotiation being going on there for many years already. It's actually a real case that's going on right now. And so basically, you're going to go here to the e-negotiation exhibition, and you'll create a well, I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is what it looks like, so you know you're at the right place. First of all, you'll enroll. I'm just going to sign in as one of my users here. And when you're enrolled and signed in, you will see a number of events listed, and you can choose one. And the one you want to choose is the free one, which is the Smartsettle One Open Tournament. It's called Vodacom versus Makate. And sure, we just happy for you to join some of the other events that cost a little bit, and we'll engage you in those events as well. But for Cyber Week, this is supposed to be, free edutainment. So just join this free event here. And after you join it, it'll show up here under My Events. I'm going to open that event. And when you open that event, it'll show you 3 modules. Smartsettle One Welcome, how Smartsettle One works, and the tournament negotiation information. So I'm just going to go through them very quickly and not spend time reading them. Each one of them has a number of steps. And when you're finished one, you go to the next one, go through a number of steps there. Take time, watch the videos, especially this one, Enhancing the Power of Mediation. And here's another one where you can actually play a little bit against a robot, see how it works. And so you get used to how it works. And then when you're done that, you can finish this module and do the very last one. Don't skip over this one. Collaboration is the best negotiation strategy. So it's just a few minutes to watch that. And so finally, you'll get to the end of this and you're ready to negotiate. If you want a bit more practice, you go here to negotiate with the robot, and you can start a robot case. And here, this is the actual case that we're negotiating in the tournament. You can read the scenario here again to remind yourself, and we're negotiating against the robot in this case. And so decide where you think is going to be fair. Move your visible flag first of all, and then there's another flag that shows up, the yellow flag, and that's your secret bid. And if you think that Vodacom should be offering a lot to the investor, then put your flag over here somewhere. If you think, no, a fair value is somewhere down here, then put your flag, your secret bid, at whatever you think would be a fair outcome for this particular case. And the robot will respond over here. So the robot has responded with a visible of 340, and the robot also has a secret, just like our secret, but we don't know where it is. So we're going to make, oh, look, they've conceded to 250 visibly, and there's a secret in here somewhere. We're going to move our visible in session 2 to 30 here, and we're going to move our secret to 70 and say okay to that, end session 2. And now we're in session 3, but we don't want to go any farther. So make sure that you don't concede farther than what you think is fair. If the robot is being stubborn, then declare final session. And it looks like the robot has already declared final session. I'm going to submit my final bids here, say my walkaway is 70. I don't want to go any further. I've already gone as far as I want to go. And if our bids don't overlap, I'm going to agree to go to the expert neutral decider. And let's see what happens here when I end that session. It's the final session. And we've got a deal at 60 million US dollars. It looks like the robot thought that a fair deal was going to be somewhere at this end as well. So don't be fooled by the range and think that fair is somewhere near the middle. Okay, so now the next part is to go over here to negotiate with humans. And so you, as a human, you could choose to play as Makate or Vodacom. And you have to play at least twice as each one of those parties. And after you play a negotiation, it'll be recorded here, and it'll show what solution you've come to. So I'm going to play as Makate here, and let's see if I have an opponent. And it looks like there is no opponent right now. I'm waiting for an opponent, but I'm going to be, setting my initial open proposal and my initial secret bid. So basically, if there's no opponent here, you set your open and your secret, and you go away, and you can actually start another one if you like. You go back to negotiate with humans, and it says there's nobody else playing right now. It's kind of quiet. On the right side is the leaderboard. Nobody has made it onto the leaderboard yet because we're just starting at this point. It says there's 3 days left in the tournament. My score right now is 0 because I haven't played twice as each party. But once I do play twice as each party, then I'm going to get a score. And if you get around 100 points, then you're doing well. If you get over 100, then you're probably going to be ahead of some others. So I'm going to try again here. And all right, so now I'm playing the other side as Vodacom, and I think I'm going to say that 30 million would be a good opening amount here. And as a secret, I'm going to say 80 and just leave it at that. So now I'm waiting for an opponent to come and play against me. If they don't show up while I'm here today, then, just come back in an hour or next day, and likely somebody will be here. I've responded to you, and you come back and make your next moves. Okay, so that gives you the quick preview, and if you have some time to look around while you're waiting, you can go back to our blog here. This was the place where I started. It explains everything and gives instructions here, and you can look at some of the other blog items. One in particular I thought I would point out to you is this experiment that we did earlier this year with a law class in India, the Pravan Gandhi College of Law, and we had about 50 students there negotiating, and we had some really good statistics come out there. Visual blind bidding was shown to produce settlements in 62% of the case with virtually no human intervention.
Unknown caller.
So we were pretty happy about that. And then there's also the expert neutral decider. So if you think that the other party is being too stubborn or is holding back, make sure that you opt for the expert neutral decider, and there will be humans that will weigh in to your case and say what they think is fair. And there's a video that you can watch on the e-negotiation channel if you want to see more about how that works. So there's a quick preview, and I'm just going to stop that there and take some questions. So there's few enough of you that you can all unmute, and if your other people are talking, you can put your hand up. Otherwise, who's got some questions? Did I go over that too quickly?
So this is Nick. I'm curious. Have you looked at any data, or do you have any data on reoccurring players, and do they get an advantage with experience or getting insights in how the system works? And I think of in the court system where, for example, in small claims court, where you may have a large number of, actually you have a few attorneys representing a large number of credit card collectors, but the attorneys are repeat players, right? There's a handful that are there again, whereas the individuals, it may be the first time ever in court. And so I'm wondering, have you looked at that at all, of people who are in the court or doing this game on a daily basis versus the complete newbie?
Well, Nick, it's the same with everything. If you've got experience and more knowledge, then that helps you a lot. And what we are intending to implement, we talked today about artificial intelligence, like generative AI, and we've seen amazing things of how, you can have a discussion with ChatGPT, and, it seems to be, as real as talking with a human these days. It's just been amazing what that has shown us in the last year. And we think it's definitely possible to actually put generative AI like ChatGPT on the mentor to help first-time users. And so, they can, get up to speed really quickly with somebody on their side.
Thank you.
Yeah. So why don't we don't be shy? Let's hear from the rest of you. You know, what did you scratch your head about that I was showing you about?
Sure, yeah, I have a question. I had never seen a platform like this, so I think it's very interesting. But when two parties enter into a negotiation of this caliber, of this magnitude, are they like binding in an effort to have a resolution through your platform, or what happens if they can't reach an agreement, like even after the expert negotiators or mediators come on?
Okay, so I went through it too quickly for you to really see how that all works. But the idea is that this will be a binding process. It's really counterproductive. Um, so it's really counterproductive if it's not binding because you've given away, you know, what you're willing to do for. So and if uh, you know, if you go through this process of putting in your open and your secret and you don't come to a resolution, then of course you haven't given away anything. Your secrets are never revealed to anybody else. You can always go away and say, well, I'm not sure I trust this process. I'm just going to go back to, you know, whatever, you know, was the default otherwise. But if you do trust this process, you can say, yes, let's settle it with the expert neutral decider, and that will guarantee a collaborative outcome. Basically, you have three experts that attend. The middle one is deemed to be fair, and whoever is closest to fair gets favored, and that's the outcome of the case. So Hagen, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Right. So yeah, Michael has joined us. I guess you took your time in the first session. Welcome, Michael. You can unmute yourself and say hi.
Hi. Yeah, great.
Good to see you here.
Yeah.
And I suppose you're already familiar with Smartsettle from other times. So, but happy to refresh your memory about anything. And so, what were you thinking, Marenica, as we went through that tour? Do you think we can organize a tournament amongst people you know in Africa?
Thank you. And I was actually thinking of organizing a tournament because what I'm doing now is with students. What Graham saw, what I was doing was with law students, and I was just thinking, what would be the learning experience for law students in your view? What will be the learning experience for law students?
What will be the learning experience?
Yeah, for law students.
Yeah. Well, I guess the main thing is introduction to, you know, a brand new technology, a way to actually use technology to cut to the chase and get to a solution more quickly than how they might get to it otherwise. Like I said in my introduction earlier, it basically eliminates that tedious negotiation dance. If you've got a more complex case, settle all the other issues first and leave the monetary issue to the end, and then settle it with Smartsettle's visual blind bidding.
So we could actually say this could be like 101 in ODR or something like that.
Yeah. And okay. So we've had lots of experiences like that where people have gone on too long, and finally they say, well, okay, let's try Smartsettle One. They come in here and they just settle it right away. Why didn't they come a lot sooner? You know, rather than go through those endless arguments forever that don't get them anywhere, or get them a tiny bit closer but don't settle it.
Okay. Thank you, and
Yeah. Okay, so just forgive me for picking on each one of you. Danae, let's hear from you.
I don't really have any questions. I've actually kind of been signing up and playing around in the background. It looks great. This is exciting stuff.
Okay, well, once you've played around enough, please circle back and say hi. Um, just send me an email or get in touch with me some other way, and be happy to have further discussion with you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, who else haven't we heard from? Deborah, how are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Unfortunately, I signed in very late, so I missed the bulk of your presentation.
Okay,
I will learn along the way, though. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, then you might have some questions that maybe aren't fair to the rest of them who were here from the beginning. I think that's what you're saying.
you have some questions in the chat box, and
oh, there's some questions over there. Well, let's take a look.
It says, why would parties relinquish their power to submit to AI process? What is the algorithm behind the Settlement One AI-driven negotiation bidding? E.g., is it based on verdicts in each country with similar facts or cases, or is it derived from insurance industry algorithms?
Okay, well, this is a misconception. Why would parties relinquish their power to submit to an AI process? Well, it's exactly the opposite of that. This type of artificial intelligence, instead of taking over, gives over control to the parties. Parties have more power over the process rather than less power. Traditionally, other interveners, human interveners, will tend to take over the process, even though they're trying to let the parties have control. But our process, it's designed to give as much control as possible to the parties themselves. Whatever the system suggests is not imposed on anybody. The party always has the last word. You can always say, I like that, or I don't like that. And that's, even more important when you go over to Smartsettle Infinity, where you have a neutral site and very complex. The artificial intelligence, knowing how everybody becomes satisfied on all of the issues, will generate suggestions. But if those suggestions don't really satisfy you, you can reject them. So you're not relinquishing any power. You're only taking suggestions. And if those suggestions, if you don't like them, you can totally do your own thing. But almost always, parties will like the suggestions that are generated by Smartsettle. And the second question, what is the algorithm behind Smartsettle One? Is it based on, let's see, is it based on verdicts in each country? No, it's not based on anything from the outside, so it's completely unbiased. And that's how it's different from the artificial intelligence out there that is taking over, like ChatGPT is biased. All it knows is what it finds out there on the internet, and it's biased according to what it finds. Smartsettle's artificial intelligence, if you will, is based only on what the parties teach it. So it's not biased from anything from the outside. All right, so I guess I've hopefully answered those questions. And are there any more questions from any of you? well, yeah, just go. Okay, go ahead. Oh, thanks, Michael. Michael? You came here a little bit late, or Hagen is. Thanks, Hagen. So, if there's no other questions, I think we'll wind it up. We won't keep you longer, but feel free to come back to me, and we're just happy to see you here. Thanks for showing up and showing some interest in Smartsettle One. I hope that you will all graduate to Smartsettle Infinity before too long.